Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. You know, history is full of surprises, right? Wars, inventions, love stories, it's all happened before, but some of the wildest stuff, those moments that make you go, get out of here. Those are the historical coincidences we're diving into today. We're talking spooky, we're talking unbelievable, we're talking stuff that'll make you rethink everything you thought you knew. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and get ready to have your mind blown because things are about to get weird. Alright, let's kick things off with a real doozy. Back in 1898, this guy, Morgan Robertson, wrote a novel called Futility, or The Wreck of the Titan. Sounds innocent enough, right? Wrong. This book tells the story of a giant, unsinkable ship, you guessed it, called the Titan. And guess what? Just like the Titanic, this fictional ship hits an iceberg in the North Atlantic and sinks. But it gets weirder. Both ships were described as the largest of their kind, both lacked enough lifeboats, and both tragedies resulted in a massive loss of life. Now, you might be thinking, okay, big deal, ships hit icebergs, but here's the kicker. This book was written 14 years before the Titanic even set sail? Talk about creepy foreshadowing. I mean, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but that's enough to make even the biggest skeptic raise an eyebrow. Was it a bizarre premonition? Pure coincidence, you decide? Next up, we're traveling back to 1914 to the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Now, this wasn't just any old assassination, folks. This was the spark that ignited World War I, a global conflict that changed the course of history. But what most people don't realize is the string of insane coincidences that led up to that fateful day in Sarajevo. First, the Archduke and his wife were only in Sarajevo because their original driver took a wrong turn, leading them straight into a path of the assassin, Gavrilo Princip. You can't make this stuff up. And get this, Princip had actually just given up on the assassination attempt and ducked into a shop for a sandwich. Wouldn't you know it, Ferdinand's car stalled right in front of the shop, giving Princip a second chance to carry out his deadly mission. Talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. This chain of unfortunate events is enough to make you believe in fate, or at least in the universe having a really twisted sense of humor. All right, let's talk about founding fathers, specifically Thomas Jefferson and John Adams. These guys, right? Political rivals, frenemies, you name it. They spent years butting heads, arguing over the direction of the newly formed United States. But get this, despite their differences, these two titans of American history died on the exact same day. And it wasn't just any day, folks. It was July 4th, 1826, the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the very document they both risked their necks to create. And now, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. Just kidding. Maybe. But seriously, the odds of these two dying on that specific day after all their years of bickering and making up, it's enough to make your head spin. It's like the universe was trying to tell us something. Like, hey, even though these guys fought like cats and dogs, they were united in their love for this country, or maybe it was just a big cosmic coincidence. Either way, it's pretty darn amazing. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to dive into one of the most eerie coincidences in American history. The assassinations of Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Two presidents getting assassinated. That's not a coincidence, that's just tragic. And you'd be right, it is tragic. But when you look at the details, the similarities between their lives and deaths are downright chilling. First off, both men were elected to Congress in '46, Lincoln in 1846 and Kennedy in 1946. Spooky, right? But wait, there's more. Both men were shot in the head on a Friday. Both were with their wives when they were shot, and both of their wives had previously lost children while living in the White House. And if that's not enough to give you goosebumps, get this. Lincoln was shot in Ford's Theater, Kennedy in a Lincoln made by Ford. Their successors were both named Johnson, both Southerners and both Democrats. I mean, Come on, you can't tell me that's not a little freaky. It's like someone hit copy and paste on the history books. All right, let's move on to a story about the Hoover Dam, a monument to American engineering and, unfortunately, a place marked by tragedy. During its construction, over 100 workers lost their lives, but there's one story that stands out as particularly chilling. The first man to die during the dam's construction was a surveyor named J.G. Tierney, who perished in a flash flood on December 20th, 1922. Now, hold on to your hard hats because it gets weirder. 13 years later, on December 20th, 1935, the last man to die during the project was, wait for it, J.G. Tierney's son, Patrick Tierney. That's right, folks, the first and last men to die building the Hoover Dam were father and son, both on the exact same date. I mean, what are the chances? It's a heartbreaking reminder of the human cost of such massive undertakings and a coincidence that sends chills down your spine. It's like the dam itself demanded a sacrifice, and fate chose the Tierney family. All right, are you ready for a good old-fashioned presidential curse? Of course you are. This one is called the Curse of Tippecanoe, and it supposedly affects any US president elected in a year ending in 0. Sounds crazy, right? Well, hold on to your hats because the evidence is pretty eerie. It all started with William Henry Harrison, elected in 1840. He gave the longest inaugural address in history in the freezing cold, no less, caught pneumonia and died just 31 days into his presidency. Not exactly a great start to the curse. Then came Abraham Lincoln, elected in 1860. We all know what happened to him. James Garfield, elected in 1880, assassinated. William McKinley, elected in 1900, assassinated. Warren G. Harding, elected in 1920, died in office under mysterious circumstances, and the curse doesn't stop there. Franklin D. Roosevelt, elected in 1940, died in his 4th term. And John F. Kennedy, elected in 1960, well, you know the rest. Coincidence, maybe. But if I were president and it was an election year ending in 0, I'd be sleeping with one eye open, surrounded by lucky rabbit's feet and 4-leaf clovers, just in case. Next up, let's take a break from the serious stuff and talk about everyone's favorite yellow family, the Simpsons. Now, we all know the Simpsons for their hilarious antics and pop culture parodies, but did you know that they've also developed a reputation for predicting the future? I'm not talking about vague Nostradamus-style predictions either. I'm talking about specific events like Donald Trump becoming president, the invention of smartwatches, and even the discovery of the Higgs boson particle, all predicted by the Simpsons years, sometimes decades before they happened. They even predicted Lady Gaga's Super Bowl halftime show, complete with her flying through the air. And let's not forget about Disney's acquisition of 20th Century Fox, which the Simpsons totally called way back in 1998. So how do they do it? Are the writers time travelers? Do they have a crystal ball hidden in the Simpsons' basement? Or is it all just a series of crazy coincidences? Whatever the explanation, it's hard to deny that the Simpsons have an uncanny knack for predicting the future. Makes you wonder what they'll foresee next. Let's get back to the historical chills with the story of Tamerlane, the ruthless 14th century conqueror who makes Genghis Khan look like a party animal. Legend has it that Tamerlane's tomb, located in what is now Uzbekistan, held a terrifying curse for anyone who dared disturb it. Now, whether you believe in curses or not, what happened after Soviet archaeologists opened Tamerlane's tomb in 1941 is the stuff of nightmares. Just 3 days after the tomb was opened, Nazi Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest military invasion in history, and attacked the Soviet Union. Coincidence? Maybe. But many people at the time, including some of the Soviet archaeologists, believed that the opening of the tomb unleashed a wave of bad luck that paved the way for Hitler's invasion. Some even claimed that a warning inscription inside the tomb read, "Whosoever opens my tomb shall unleash an invader more terrible than I." Spooky, right? The curse supposedly ended when Tamerlane's remains were reburied with full Islamic rites in 1942. coinciding with a major turning point in the war in favor of the Soviets. All right, let's dive into one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century, the Bermuda Triangle. This area in the North Atlantic Ocean has long been shrouded in legend and folklore, with countless stories of ships and planes disappearing without a trace. One of the most famous incidents is the disappearance of Flight 19, a group of 5 US Navy torpedo bombers that vanished during a training mission in 1945. They were never seen or heard from again, despite a massive search and rescue operation. The last communication from the flight leader was just as baffling as the disappearance itself. He reportedly said, "We are entering white water. Nothing seems right. We don't know where we are. The water is green, no white." What was white water? Where did they go? No one knows. The mystery of Flight 19 cemented the Bermuda Triangle's place in popular culture as a place where the laws of physics seemingly don't apply. And finally, let's end with a coincidence that's both fascinating and heartbreaking: the 27 Club. This morbid moniker refers to the string of talented musicians who died at the young age of 27, often under mysterious or tragic circumstances. The club gained notoriety with the deaths of legendary musicians like Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison, all of whom tragically passed away in 1970 at the age of 27. Then, in 1994, the music world mourned the loss of Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain, who also died at 27. Other notable members of this tragic club include Amy Winehouse, who passed away in 2011, and Rolling Stones guitarist Brian Jones. While there's no scientific explanation for this eerie phenomenon, some speculate that the pressures of fame, coupled with the reckless lifestyles often associated with rock and roll, contributed to this tragic trend. Whatever the reason, the 27 Club serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring legacy of these musical icons. Wow, we've covered some ground today, haven't we? From shipwrecks to presidential curses, we've explored some of history's most mind-boggling coincidences. Whether you believe in fate, destiny, or just plain old chance, there's no denying that these stories make you think twice about the world around us. So what do you think? Which coincidence did you find the most shocking, the most unbelievable, the most likely to make you lose sleep tonight? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing content. See you next time.